Heyo everybody, Haku here for Tower of God, the Urek Mazino spin-off chapters 42, 43, and maybe even 44, and that's as far as has been released. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do at least two, and if I want to keep reading, we'll do the third one and go ahead and catch up. And then I already mentioned it because I think ORV will be on break in English next week. We're going to go ahead and start doing things on Tuesday next week. I'll record Tuesday morning, again, as long as I can, as long as I have time before any IRL stuff. I'll record in the morning and then get the video posted as soon as I can, whether that's around lunchtime, who knows. We'll figure it all out when we get there at that point. But yeah, we're about to be caught up, and once we're caught up, maybe I'll take another break in the future, or maybe I'll take a short break here and there and then just do 2 chapters the next week. It kind of depends. If I did take a week off, it would probably just be because I'm prioritizing trying to finish another video or real life stuff got in the way. But right now I'm not really planning any breaks because I've really been liking the Urek spinoff since we came back. Like, of course, writing wise, it's not like it's perfect or anything, but I've been having so much fun with it. And I think that currently where we left off, the Mago and Eduan fight, that was really fun. I'm interested in, again, even if they do weird things with the lore, I'm interested in what weird things they do. And lately, at first, like for the longest time for Urek, it's like, I'm cool sticking with this. Like, we can get back to the main story whenever we get back to the main story. But now lately, this has started to make me kind of excited to see what the main story will do in the future. So this has me thinking, especially with what we've seen and like all the all the setup, all the build-up they're giving to all the Urek, Gem, Phantaminum stuff. I feel like there's just so much here that for me personally, it feels like this needs a lot of time. This needs more than one season. It feels to me like we need to just do Urek Mazino Season 1, then do Tower of God Season 4, and then maybe do a Urek Mazino Season 2, because there's so much here that can be explored. But yeah, I'm excited, and starting next week, I will try to do things on Tuesday from now on. Because it comes out late at night Monday night for me, and instead of trying to do the whole video late night Monday night, I think it's just better to do it Tuesday morning. So yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say in the intro. Either way, let's start reading chapter 42, and we can talk about it as we go, because there might have been other things I forgot to mention about last week's read-through or anything, but, if I remember anything, we'll talk about it like we usually talk about things. It usually is a bit of a long reaction for me, Tower of God. That's nonsense. An attack cannot exist without a will to bend it. Sure it can. And like I said, this spear, and this is the panel we saw at the end of last time, I think, is faster than my will. Lightning Part 6. And we have her stabbed through the midsection. Gah! She vanishes and lands back at the ground. Again, I mentioned a lot how the fight is really cool and stuff, and at least one of you, I'm sorry I forgot who left the comment too, somebody else left a big comment about the fight and Mago's powers and stuff, and I do think it's just really, really cool how somebody like Urek, he's so emotionally invested, so all of his attacks are going to be wanting to harm her, and she knows him so well that it's just so easy for her to counter his hope, because his hope is very blatant, it's very there, whereas when Eduan first shows up, it's like, if his first attack kills her, then this situation that he was sent to deal with on the second floor is done, and if it doesn't kill her, then he gets to have a fight, which he seemed excited about, so he was able to hit her with the first attack, because A, she didn't seem to have a good read on what it was he wanted or anything, to counter his hope, and B, he didn't really hope to kill her or to not kill her, so I think that, like I said before, just aim your attacks behind her, at the wall behind her, and be like, if it hits her, it hits her, and then maybe you can do it. Or, like he said, just something that's going to move faster than his own will. Like an attack that's going to escape out before he can even have time to properly aim it. Stuff like that. makes Eduan such a good opponent here too, because again, if she works by countering people's hope, then somebody who is more ambivalent to whether or not he actually hurts her, like Eduan, is such a good opponent. He's telling the truth. I can't counter his attacks. He's definitely fast, but that's not the problem. I don't know how it's possible, but his attacks truly lack any will. I feel like that's something that makes sense. I wouldn't say that that doesn't make sense. Because, again, like, say you're in one of these battle shonen and it's like, I am charging up a Kamehameha blast, but I am putting so much energy into it that it just escapes before I can launch it. An attack like that is how I'm kind of viewing this, where he's like prepping the attack and everything, but this attack is so fast and has so much energy behind it that it just kind of flies out faster than his will to let it fly out. So I think an attack like that makes perfect sense. And she is avoiding carrying her hand with her other hand after the, what is it, Marlene Gigante? Or Gigante? After it takes the arm off. And she's able to fix it. In that case. And again, this is a cool battle between irregulars, because I love how a lot of my views have shifted now, viewing this as, okay, Urek and Phantaminum aren't the only irregulars that entered. Whatever Phantaminum's doing, whatever his plans or his ideas are, he has brought followers in here. I'm pretty sure Obrion's one of his followers. And then Mago is confusing, because you would think the ones that got turned into the gems aren't Phantaminum's followers, but are the Shining Ones. But Mago was turned into a gem. And Urek, who was a baby after the Shining Ones had been gemified, jewelified, Mago and Urek know each other from the outside. So Mago is questionable. But I like the idea. It's like, okay, these are actual irregulars. I'll get in so close, he won't even be able to use his spear. And again, this is a good idea too, to counter that. Can't aim at me now, can you? Is that what you think? And the attack comes in from behind and stabs through both of them. Again, just being crazy enough to stab himself to stab through her. Really bad opponent in that Eduan is very, very powerful and willing to just be crazy. He even let himself get stabbed? My will isn't quite enough to stop this spear, I'm afraid. And they both take damage from it. Besides, why should I shy away when you're the one who's injured? Do you take me for a coward? What is wrong with this guy? He's much more reckless and more powerful than I thought. I wanted to take my time to savor Urek's power, but I'll just have to adjust accordingly. And she does have Urek's Shining One abilities, whatever that means. I mean, I guess he could fire light blasts. We don't really fully know what Urek's Shining One powers do, necessarily, other than just be strong. And we're having the beams of light radiate from her. I love this panel with the Marlin in the background and everything. She forms up a ball of energy. I can't necessarily say it's Shinsu, but it's energy at least. And it's expanding out. And then she fires it as a beam backward through the Marlin. She destroyed my spear with a single strike. She had that much strength left? This power is so fucking delicious. This is the exact taste I wanted. I got this power from a man named Urek, my most beloved light. You see, gems reflect light. Even the most brilliant ones don't make their own. But this one is different. It's the purest form of light, able to shine forever, even in total darkness. So I guess the Shining Ones, however many there are the pure form of light. I mean, unless it's just Urek, but I feel like it's not just Urek. So maybe she's a gem that reflects light, but she isn't a shining one. The shining ones got turned into gems, but there are also gems that are not shining ones, and that's her. I'm thinking. And again, I think it'll be very, very cool if we get interactions between Eduan and Urek, because I want to see like what Eduan knows from outside of the tower at this point, because he might have had memory sealed by now too, but I just want to know what he knows. And if it's even the same world as Urek, that could be like huge lore or plot revelations. But also, I think it'll be very, very cool for Urek's character if Mago keeps or spends the power, or if Eduan somehow gets the power sealed in the jewel and keeps it. And then we have to see Urek climb the tower, like I had been saying, climb the tower without his Shining One powers, but he is still Urek, he is still strong, he is still an irregular. So I think having Urek be nerfed, but still ultra powerful, and have to climb the tower that way, and add more into his goal, because then part of his goal would be to get his power back, you'd assume. I think that would add more to Urek's character. But I'm assuming this means Mago isn't a Shining One, so not all of the jewels that we will see are Shining Ones. With this power, I am light. Unless, who's Urek? I love panels like that. Who's Gogo-jung? I like that. Unless, again, Urek is just the only one who is pure light, but I would think the other Shining Ones would be too. I think maybe Shining Ones are just more of a limited thing. Like, maybe there's only like 5 or 6 of them in all of existence, and Urek is just one of those very few. Well, I do know one thing. And she forms up that same sort of orb. That light's far too dangerous, and he pulls another of his spears. And it fires out forward this time, I think. Okay. And in addition to that, she moves in herself hand to hand. Cool as her foot to hand. But she herself is just like a melee combatant. And she's able to knock him back. She's much stronger than before. Come to me. Mystery gem chest. What? What? Let's see. Which one did I get this time? She's doing the Call of Duty Zombies mystery box? Rose quartz. Not bad at all. She eats it. And I'm assuming maybe whatever her mystery gem chest gives her changes, like, sort of the power she uses, kind of similar to Kite's ability in Hunter x Hunter, maybe? Like, she can just pull different abilities from the gem chest. She's making vines grow now. Eduan has to avoid it. And she goes in again. She keeps, like, making him avoid long-range attacks and then going in for melee. Okay, but he attacks, and it seems like whenever she does, like, this kind of thing, this is Counter Hope avoiding the attacks for her. Because we've seen her do this a lot. So it seems like this is Counter Hope, like, just helping her avoid attacks. My attacks. No, at this rate. Because, again, now that she's gotten to know him better and know what it is he wants or what he's trying to do, and now that he has done the same, now when he does, because you would fight on instinct a bit, now when he lets off any attack that's like meant to hit her, like, oh crap, this person's coming in to punch me, she can now counter hope those attacks. No, at this rate, she's going to counter them. So now he has to be worried, because if he does land a hit, the damage could be countered back on him. If he does land a hit while wanting to do damage, while wanting to land a hit. And it's hard to fight somebody who's doing thorn tentacle powers and shooting beams at you without wanting to actually hit them or hurt them. The more I try to dodge her strikes, the more accurate they become. And there's that part of things too. I have to stop thinking. Just need to go full meathead mode comes in from behind with the spear. It worked. I didn't realize anyone could move without intent. This woman, she's unlike anything in this tower. And he's able to stab through again? Huh. But as he stabs through, she wraps around it with the vines. And there's a big red burst of energy as the vines grab on to Eduan. I don't know much about this tower, but you're something special, I can tell that much. But this rose quartz can trap anyone in the vines of my beauty. And she's able to stab through him. Gah! With Urek's power, I no longer need to counter your hope. This eternal light gives me endless vitality and strength. This is bad. And even Eduan thinking this is bad, a family head having to deal like this with another irregular coming in, is just kind of hyping up Fintaminum and his people more. I can't loosen these vines without intent when I'm bound like this. And I think some people could dislike seeing a family head in this much trouble, but I like it a lot because I think if we just have too much of the typical Tower of God thing, like the bomb faces no issues whatsoever and completely demolishes somebody, seeing like somebody always completely demolish their opponents is boring. It's more exciting for somebody to struggle and overcome those struggles, and we're having that on both sides. Like, this isn't an easy fight for Eduan, and it's not an easy fight for Mago. So it makes them both look good, and they're both planning and strategizing around each other. Plus, they're both showing off really powerful abilities. So both of them are looking really good in this fight. You put up a good fight. Unfortunately, it seems I'm the more beautiful one. And we have blood bursting out. Gah. And a massive splatter from it. She stands on his head. Game over. Man, and that's where we end. Again, Mago looks crazy here. And that's just one of what she could have gotten from the mystery box. Crazy, crazy fight. I've loved this fight. I think Eduan and Mago, really good fight. This was really good. Controversial opinion, but as a fight, this is more interesting and well choreographed than Traumeré and Gustang for the most part. Traumeré and Gustang's fight for the most part was not actually that good. It had some good bits and some good moments, but I think the split up pacing hurt it. The starting way too early in the arc hurt it. And while there were some good things, it just felt like there were also a bunch of things that we didn't actually properly explore with the two of them. So I think that this, where again, we're seeing both of them strategize and plan, and how the fight's gone back and forth between the two of them. At the beginning of this chapter, we were at a point where Eduan was dominating with the Marlin spear and had kind of planned a way around her, and we went back and forth with her finding a way to deal with that, and then him finding a way to deal with that, him struggling with having not to think, her having to use Urek's power early and use the mystery box. It was really, really good. It was really, really good. It was really good. So yeah, that was a really good fight chapter. That was super good. Okay. With that aside, we get to continue reading, so let's at least go read 43. Even if I don't read 44 this week, I'll do 44 and 45 on Tuesday next week. So I don't know if I'll stop after this. If it's kind of on the long side, maybe I will, or if I'll continue. Whether I continue, really, the biggest thing isn't how long it is. The biggest thing is if I can stop myself from reading or not. If I can stop myself from reading, we will maybe save it to do 2 next time. That way, instead of doing 3 and 1, we get to do 2 and 2. But we'll see if I can stop myself. Let's go read 43. Game over. And that's where we ended. We have our title splash at the beginning, Lightning Part 7, still titled Lightning. So the energy starts to come out of him. Mago seems surprised there. And then he bursts out from the vines. She has to back away. And it seems like he's healing up even. Did he lightning pill or something? Or maybe not even like maybe he doesn't even necessarily need to do it like a lightning pill. He can just kind of buff himself. Interesting. Looks like he turned himself into lightning. Okay, so he's kind of doing what Mate did. He's kind of using his Shinsu quality back on himself. He fires off a beam, and she has to avoid all of his lightning attacks. He forms a spear and tosses it. Again, crazy. She makes the same pose, only this time instead of the light orb, she's forming a bundle of thorns. Counter hope. And she sends it back at him. But this might be a part of his plan too. Now, before he was worried, he was like, if I do hit her, she could counter the damage back on me. But now if he goes into like lightning buff form, kind of like Mate went into concrete, getting hit by a pure lightning spear instead of a physical spear might not do like it's like an elemental enemy in an RPG where if it's a fire elemental, the fire doesn't work on them or even heals them. This could be another sort of thing where if he is lightning right now, then an attack that's pure lightning isn't going to damage him, but might even just charge him up more. Your efforts are meaningless. I guess you can't be hurt by lightning, she sends out the thorns. If you are lightning. And then she tries to restrain him again, but it's not working this time. He forms another spear. Countering his attacks is useless. I'm just hitting him with lightning. Lightning and more lightning. The air is filled with lightning. As if he died and came back as the god of lightning. And she fires again. And again, I think that this is cool. We are still seeing the two of them plan and strategize and keep countering each other's plans. This was a really good idea from Eduan. Again, with what he was worrying about before, finding a workaround for what he was worried about. And it's not like him turning into lightning comes out of nowhere. We've seen people before in the main series use their ability to turn themselves into elements. Or at least the Shinsu quality of that thing. So she's firing off light beams now. And he's countering with more lightning, as she was saying. She's still trying to grab him. But it's definitely not working. And he's starting to get off some physical attacks. She forms one of the light balls point blank and fires it off. But he's able to avoid. Impressive. Is this really the same man who was on the brink of death just moments ago? And I feel like, too, we've seen the lightning pill, and we've seen the, like, doping ability turn your body into the Shinsu quality. And it feels like this might be just, like, the ultimate form of the lightning pill. Basically. Just he is buffing himself by going pure lightning. His lightning may be flashy and loud, but compared to my light, it's nothing more than a passing storm. Lightning is temporary, yet my light is eternal. And she brings out the mystery box again. A diamond? I'd have preferred mithril or adamantium. But, for now, this is the best I can get. I think it's so funny how it's like diamond is one of the hardest, like, actual real natural substances. So we have her like, I got the best real substance, but I would have preferred insert these like fictional legendary substances. But for now, this is the best I can get. She consumes the diamond, and I wonder how this will change her powers. Okay. Is Diamond is super hard and stuff. Is Diamond going to be like the ultimate shield? His power is formidable, but he's nearing his limit. If I can just outlast this storm, he's done for. Okay, so yeah, she's going tank mode. He pulls out a massive spear. And again, gets ready to fire it off, but it's once again just so cool that counter hope is the biggest thing he had to worry about dealing with. So he came with an ability that lets him just completely counter hope. Because now the counter damage just doesn't even do anything. He just became a spear. Okay. So he became lightning, and then he becomes the spear himself. And goes in toward the diamond shield. That must be his final strike. I think it's probably sort of like using the needle in the nest to punch through the wall and then people come out the end of the needle. I think it might just be turn himself into a spear to break through the diamond shield and then back to a person to attack from inside the shield. And then she's using the same stance, Eternal Diamond, and creates, it looks like a layered diamond shield. But we have more panels of him going in. It slams down into the diamond shield. It's no use. As long as Urek's light touches this diamond, my defenses won't falter. Every time you break through the wall, it'll simply rebuild itself. Soon his strength will dwindle. And she's surprised. My light is fading. Impossible. Urek's light is eternal. Wait. That boy with the black hair, the one who gave me the gem, he must not have taken all of Urek's light. Okay, that makes sense. He lied to me. That makes sense. I was going to say maybe the gem just can't hold or can't replicate all of Urek's power, but even if Neo just didn't take everything, just enough to try to fool her into granting his wish, that makes sense too. He lied to me. No, my light. Stay with me, my light. And it starts fading. So Mago might actually get taken down here. And Mago might be done from the story, and we only have, like, Oberon and other Phantaminum allies to deal with. Urek will probably feel disappointed that he didn't get to kill her, but I feel like Eduan might just get this win. He might actually kill her at this point. No. And the spear is able to make it through. We see the gem that was holding Urek's power destroyed. Then again, too, unless the real gem body is destroyed, Mago might not be able to die. So Urek or Oberon might destroy her real body. Whether it's Urek because of the obvious reasons, or whether it's Oberon as, I don't know, some sort of sign, oh, she failed and her use has outlived itself, or something. We have the destroyed gem left behind on the ground. I can't remember the last time I used so much of my power. And he goes back out of the lightning doper form. Sahara was right to warn me about this. This is no minor matter. Where'd they come from? Yeah, that would be so worrying if you're like Zahara and the 10 family heads. And then it's one thing if it's a bomb situation where it's like, oh crap, an irregular entered the tower, what do we do? But if the Phantaminum situation, I guess we still don't know if the Phantaminum Zahard Castle incident has happened yet. We know Phantaminum's in the tower, but we don't know if the castle incident has happened. Like, Phantaminum could have just been hiding in the shadows and hasn't done the castle thing yet, because I don't think anybody's brought that up. So that might not have happened yet. But Phantaminum's here, though they might not know it yet. His allies are here, and Urek's here. It'd be terrifying for Zahard and the Ten Families if not just an irregular entered, but multiple irregulars entered at the same time, kind of like presumably they did. Or like at or around the same time. I suppose she won't be answering any of my questions in that state. And he stomps down on the gem and forms back the cup again and starts drinking. I could use a short break as he falls back. I didn't have my main spear, but still, it could have been dangerous if she'd held out any longer. I'll send everyone back and get some sleep. It's been a while since I last went on an outing like this. And Chungum is looking on. Damn it. Lady Mago lost? How'd this happen? That man with blue hair is incredibly powerful. Where did he come from? All I can tell is that he's from the Kun family. I never imagined Lady Mago would lose this fight. I'll have to make a run for it before he notices me. Hey, you're about to step on me. He looks. Look over here. Is this Mago? Huh? Is that sand? Yeah, I'm down here. I look a bit different now, but I'm Mago. I left some particles here before the battle, just in case things went awry. Lady Mago? Don't speak out loud, he'll hear you. I need you to move me somewhere safe without him noticing. If you can help me regain my powers, I'll grant your wish. How long does this keep working on people? Help me regain my powers and I'll grant your wish. How long do people keep agreeing? I do know a place. We have the princess? They could be a safe hideout. Because he saw the princess's ability to be a vessel for other spirits? Is he going to put the spirit of Mago within the princess? Because we still don't know what the deal is with the princess. Like, how does that work, being an empty vessel for spirits or whatever? Okay. Is that so? Take me there, then. Do you swear to grant my wish, Lady Mago? Of course, just tell me what it is. Right now, all I want is to make sure Urek Mazino gets completely screwed over. Why do you care? So Chungum's entire personality has just been screwing people over. Why? Does he like it that much? And of course Eduan's not that clueless. I can't be the only one having all the fun. Isn't that right, Zahard? You think I've gotten weaker? Don't be ridiculous. I could kill you with a single strike. You can, huh? Then why didn't you do it before? And he moves in close. You show up after all this time and choose to annoy me? You're the one who's granted Leo and Neo's wish, aren't you? What makes you think that? Because Mago couldn't have done it back then, obviously. You're partly correct. I did grant Leo's wish in this castle that day. After that, I found them again. However, I only granted Leo's wish, not both of theirs. What? Another deity exists here, and Neo prayed for that one to grant his wish. Another deity. This reminds me of the old days. I'm sure you're already aware. And again, I like how he's talking about deities and stuff, and he has like this priest look. But most of the time, disasters aren't caused by some supernatural being. It's usually human greed. That day during the exam, Neo made a wish and was cursed. Okay. Again, this timeline stuff is still very confusing. It's still hard to wrap my head around what is or isn't necessarily real with Neo and Leo and all of that. And all of this granting wish nonsense. It is a bit silly, a bit convoluted, a bit, I love Kingdom Hearts, but a bit Kingdom Hearts. A bit I am 13 and this is deep, as I've said before. It just seems like a bit much when a simpler story could have gave us the same thing with those characters. It just feels like needlessly complicated, like the complexity isn't actually making it any better. If anything, it's making it less good. But honestly, I feel pretty good about continuing to read. And that just means that I don't really have to worry about doing a long 2-chapter video on Tuesday morning. So let's just do 44 and be caught up. Why not? Also, I'm pretty excited to see what happens now that we're done with the Eduan and Mago fight. But now that it's over, I can say that the Eduan and Mago fight, really, really good. I thought that was a really good fight. I thought that was so good. But we start off with episode 44, Neo. And it's not called Neo Part 1, just Neo. Obrion, one of those who swallowed Phantaminum's light, just like Mago. Okay, so they aren't Shining Ones. They're just people who were given powers, like Shining One-esque powers from Phantaminum, who sealed the Shining One powers into the jewels. Okay, so Obrion, Mago, confirmed then, not Shining Ones, neither of them. They are just people with powers granted by Phantaminum. And also that means they are also irregulars. You're the mastermind behind all this, aren't you? It wasn't my intention at first. It's true that I hid Mago in this castle so I could awaken her, but the castle appearing on the floor of tests wasn't part of my plan. When I finally got to the castle, Mago was already regaining her strength in her own way. And technically, I never granted Leo's wish. I only helped make sure Mago wouldn't counter it. Okay. Besides, from the first moment I saw Neo, he knew. He was a fake. But of course he did. If he were real, he would have arrived at the test site completely unaware. Instead, he came with all of Leo's memories and experiences. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense that he would be the fake one, because Leo went up the entire tower, became a ranker and everything, and was like, man, I wish I could do it again. And then another him showed up to do it again, or whatever. So this does, like, I'm glad we're getting this. This is making it make a little bit more sense, at least. Being like, yeah, of course he's the fake one. He was an illusion only able to exist on this floor, born from Leo's wish. But I feel like now that Leo has been... your sins have been absolved, my child, and faded into nothingness. Now that Leo is put to rest, I hope maybe Neo can continue on with Urek to climb the tower, but maybe the end of this arc comes and neither of them will exist. Neo will have to go away as well, since he was never meant to exist to begin with. And of course, maybe once all this Mago stuff is dealt with, wasn't Rue made by the tower as an antibody in response to... Like, maybe Rue won't actually die, it's just that Rue was made as the tower, or made by the tower as an antibody to deal with the Mago time discrepancy stuff, and once the Mago stuff is handled, maybe Rue as an antibody will serve his purpose and Rue won't be able to exist anymore, and maybe that's how Urek gets the hat. Maybe Rue doesn't actually die, he just stops existing because the tower doesn't need him anymore. Born from Leo's wish, forced to keep repeating the test on the floor of tests, Neo knew from the beginning, which was why his wish was different from Leo's. And one fateful day, some time ago, the day of Rue's first test, the three of them... Okay, so Neo, Rue, and Jean, who is a confusing inclusion in all this, were all together. And Jean seemingly is maybe from wherever the castle originally was when Mago was placed there. That would be my best guess. Finally met. During the final test. Who are you? My name is Rue, and I know who you are too. You're Neo, right? How? All the regulars here know who you are. You were the first one to learn how to use Shinsu. And as for the lady over here, I don't remember seeing him before. Oh, alright, this is Jean. Wait. And then the two of them step away. Neo, we could really use your help. Pardon? We're looking for a deity named Dark, so we can undo Jean's curse. What did you just say? I see. Basically, Jean is under a curse which makes her wounds feel like they're on fire. And you must find this deity named Dark in order to undo the curse. Exactly. Do you think you can help her? Well, I'm sure I could, but just hold on a second. That girl isn't real. What do you mean? No outsiders are allowed in this test site. She's not a regular or a director, meaning she's just an illusion. She's probably been on this island as some kind of spirit for a long time. I'd suggest you focus on the test instead. But just look at her. I feel so bad. And again, we're getting into weird stuff. She's a spirit here from, again, I guess probably before the castle moved here. Or maybe he's wrong and she isn't a spirit. She's just kind of in a weird spot. But also it was weird before how she couldn't see the regulars. I'll never see her again once this test is over. The thought of her suffering forever. I appreciate your advice, but I really want to help her. So, you'll still help her find this deity, even knowing she's an illusion? Yes, I made a promise, and I'm going to keep it whether she's real or not. Well, I'll see you later, and the two of them leave him. Whether she's real or not. And I guess that hit somebody helping, like somebody wanting to help somebody, whether they're real or not, probably resonates with Neo, who knows that he isn't real. A few moments later, uh-oh, and they're fighting random golems? We're surrounded. I don't see a way out. And they get taken out by Neo. Neo? What are you doing here? Just a small change of heart. I'll go with you to undo the curse on this illusion. All right, and we know that it doesn't work because all three of them are still repeating this test. Thank you so much. That's how they set out to find the Ark, or set out to find Ark, even though they were in the middle of a test. It was a kind of test Neo had never experienced before. At last he discovered the excitement of adventure, camaraderie, the drive to reach a goal, and the joy of forging a path forward, despite difficulties. Something he'd kept suppressed began to resurface, the desire to move on to the next floor. I think we're almost there. That red dot right there is where we should find the deity. Neo, this might sound a bit ridiculous, but I really regretted my decision to enter the tower. I found myself surrounded by competitors, and even if I were able to climb the floors, I had no idea what I would do. But I'm having a lot of fun now. Doing this stuff with you feels like a real adventure. So if we do get past this floor, would you like to climb the tower with us? I know I'm much weaker than you, so I might just get in the way, but... Sure. Let's do it. Really? Yes. If the two of us can really move past this floor, let's climb the tower together. And while this is fine and all, again, I'm just thinking... I don't think we needed all of this crazy multiple timeline created by the tower, repeating the test over and over again, even though that doesn't really make sense with the other people who would have passed. And like, okay, for them, I guess Neo and Rue and everybody just faded from existence again and again. I don't think all of this stuff, all of the... I don't even want to say complexity, because it's not complex. It's just a bunch of stuff thrown together. I don't think it was necessary for us to like the characters, or for the characters to have a good story or impact on Urek and everything. But this is fine. It's just, oh brother, it's a bit much. Does that mean we're friends now? I guess we are. Because now, like, when we see all the progress Rue made making friends with Evelyn and learning to be a spear bearer and all, when we see all of that, it's like, oh, all of this like progress and all he made was something that he kind of technically just did a bunch of times. It makes it feel a little less special. We're here. You said you can summon Ark by praying here, right? And we have this magic circle on the ground? Yes, that's what the clue said. I'm glad we were able to find this place before the end of the test. Now let's summon the deity. Let's do it. Jean, could you step into the circle? Sure. O great Savior, Lord Ark, I am Jean, your faithful servant. I have come to atone for the sins of those who cursed me. Please hear my prayer and bless me with your presence to lift the curse that's been placed upon us. And we've got the goofy ass face, these eyes. Goofy ass apparition. I have heard your wish, child. The, like, goofy kind of off-kilter eyes and the big lips. What on earth? Lord Ark, are you the ones who seek to lift this girl's curse? Yes, we are. Very well. I shall heed your prayers. If you only pray for the girl's curse to be lifted for the next 5 minutes, I will grant your wish. Pardon? However, if even one of you wishes for something else, I shall grant that wish instead. Neo is the one who messed it up, isn't he? What do you... I am Ark, the Savior. Those who pray to me shall find salvation. And is this just a... what am I thinking? An illusion made by Mago or by Oberon? Now, pray. Let's just do it. This is probably a part of the test. All right. He's going to grant my wish. No, it's a trap. I have to pray for Jean's curse to be lifted. My wish, the thing I really want. And then, very well. I have heard your prayers. Jean? Yes, Divine One? You poor thing. Pardon? Once again, your curse has not been lifted. I don't understand. And as for you, Spirit, I cannot grant your wish either. You see, this was the final test, to see whether you truly wish to save this girl. Neo, did you wish for something else? And if so, with the whole Mago thing, he was kind of making the same mistake all over again, wasn't he? How could you? You lied to me. All you cared about was having your own wish granted. That's not what I wasn't. And again, all of this isn't fairly consistent either. All of the timeline stuff. So I feel like it's just needlessly complex in a way that Siu has shown that he can't keep consistent. I feel like it's just stuff we really truly did not need. Neo, why? Foolish humans, you can never let go of your greed when it truly matters. Everyone here shall now bear a curse as the price of your greed. And is Ark just a real god thing? I don't think so, right? It has to be just something that Oberon made up, right? Let these wounds be the final lesson this test imparts to you. Wait, Lord Ark, please. Lord Ark. And then the flames take hold of Jean. My back, it hurts. No, please, help me. Someone help me, please. Please. Jean. She burns away. Neo. Why? Why did you do it? I... And he runs off. Neo, stop. Neo. So he ran, feeling the searing pain, as the curse was etched into his body. You're not looking great. And he runs into Oberon. Who are you? You bear a curse. How did you... A test has always existed in this castle, one designed to probe human nature itself. I don't know who created it, but they had quite a twisted sense of humor. Okay, so did he not make this? Which means somebody in the past created Ark and created this test, and it just exists in this castle? This castle is just a special place inside the tower? Okay, so if Ark isn't an illusion made by Oberon, Ark is real, or it's at least a thing, maybe I guess it's similar to the God of Guardians, the original God of Guardians that we saw Zahard's teammates run into, like V and stuff. Maybe it's like that? Did you really think that deity would grant your wish? You must never peer into chaos while in ignorance. You looked, and that's why you were cursed. Go down. I know you have a wish. The flower that can grant it is below. And also all of this Mago stuff is just happening in the same place. Having all of this stuff be unrelated but also just happening at the same time is, again, I just do not think we needed so many different layers of things that kind of sort of don't matter. Like Jean and the Ark thing, why is all of that even here? If we're like, that is just, if our story was about Leo and Neo and their wish and what was going on with Oberon, and we're like, secretly, it wasn't actually Mago, it was Oberon, but then we're also like, oh, and the Jean and Arc stuff, that's also here, and that also plays into it, but it's also separate. And also, Rue was created by the Tower and keeps repeating this, but that's also, yet again, separate. I think that there's so many layers of separate things going on, coinciding at once, that it's like, did any of this help to make any of these characters better? Did we need any of this Jean stuff? Did that add to Neo and Leo's thing to begin with? Does Oberon even add to Leo and Neo's thing? Or could it have just been Mago? This is just like layers of stuff that I think really doesn't actually help the story. They created me an illusion. This is the flower that created me an illusion. Oh, flower, I will not wish to move on to the next floor. I know that's impossible, but if I were to wish for one thing, I want Rue to move past this floor. And please make sure Rue forgets everything about me. Then I'll stay here forever, as a dead cat. So is that what's happening now? Now is Rue's chance to move forward? Rue. And so that means, why is it happening now when not back in that previous time loop? There you are. I've been looking for you everywhere. Ah, I'm sorry I ran off. I was a little surprised, but I'm glad you're okay. I really wanted Jean to have her wish, but yours matters to me too, no matter what it was. I understand why you did what you did. You're truly kind. It's almost like someone sent you to be my friend. I wanted to climb the tower with you, Rue. I wanted to travel everywhere we want, or travel wherever we wanted. Laugh, talk, and even be afraid. We've known each other for 15 minutes. Of the unknown future together. That's what I wished for. We can still do it. Let's go finish the test. We'll pass together and... I can't. I'm just an illusion. What? Rue, I'll stay here and remember you forever. But you need to forget me and go on. What are you talking about? Why would I do that? I'll never forget you, no matter what happens. I promise I'll remember you too. Neo. I see. Thank you. And this is what we flash back to that one time? My friend. And then Oberon takes out Rue. You. Rue. Rue, no, wake up. But what about my wish? Oh, did I not tell you? That flower doesn't grant your wish. It actually counters it. Basically, you got the opposite of what you wished for. Okay, so that's why it didn't happen in this time loop. Because he gets the opposite. Rue never moves on. And always forgets him, instead of moving on and remembering him or whatever. I'll kill you. And then is he also taken out? And that was the end of the test. Oberon, you. When Neo learned that Rue was on the island of the ascetics, he begged Leo to let him enter the test again, hoping he could lift Rue's curse. But he encountered an incredibly powerful opponent in his next test, and all his companions were killed. He never gave up, but he couldn't break the curse. It seems that once someone fails Ark's test and is cursed, they can never reach Ark again. But this test was different. For one, you entered the tower, Urek, and whether by coincidence or design, Rue happened to join the test again. For Neo, it was another chance. He probably begged Mago to let him meet Ark again. Funny, isn't it? All three of them were nothing but illusions. Oberon. And he smiles. I'm going to kill you. You say that a lot and you don't do it, Urek. Try it. He grips onto his arm and pulls him forward and throws him. I guess your last beating wasn't enough of a wake-up call for you. Don't be ridiculous. As you're well aware, I wasn't in fighting shape last time. Are we actually going to get a flashback to last time, or what? Wake up. You can't beat me, no matter what shape you're in. Like, we're getting the Urek spinoff, but there's this whole backstory, even in the spinoff, that we are not being told. And they both square up and start trading hands. And we end there. Again, I feel like all of the time loop stuff and Rue and Neo taking the test again and again, it doesn't make logical, consistent sense with the fact that this is the floor of tests. It exists within the greater context of the rest of the tower. That throws it off entirely, and I don't think it helps the characters anymore. I feel like if it was just they were normal, regular teammates and we had their struggles, we had struggles for them, or we had like a little bit of this, like, oh, Rue's like, I was made by the tower to counter what's going on here with Mago, and, you know, we kept it a little bit restrained to kind of that is the purpose for him, or Leo and Neo keep the thing where it's like, okay, Leo wished and it created Neo, and then I just feel like adding so many different layers on this has not made it better or more complex. It has made it worse and more convoluted. And on top of that, we have like the Jean and Arc stuff, which I just feel like is fully unnecessary. The Jean and Arc stuff is just kind of silly, especially if it's like somebody we don't even know. It created this test to exist in this castle long ago, and this castle just happened to be brought in to be used as the final testing arena for the floor of tests. Okay. So I just think, once again, it is an oh brother, that's a bit much kind of thing. I just don't think that from what we've seen of CU in the past like decade, he is an author that can write something like this and keep it actually consistent and good. So I think that of all the really interesting plot points he just dropped and we moved on, this is something that I don't think we should just drop and move on, but I really hope we get answers for things and just wrap things up and are done with it as soon as we can, because that's one thing this chapter did a good job at. It let us know, okay, you know, Leo was the real one. Neo was created because of Leo's wish. Why is Rue repeating things? It's because Mago countered Neo's hope. Like, we got answers that kind of tie up some of our questions. Again, it's still, a lot of the parts of this are really kind of silly, and now Urek's fighting Obrion, and I'm like, why necessarily are we doing this? Obrion, honestly, in general, just kind of came out of nowhere, this arc. Just, oh, we were doing all this Mago stuff? Well, actually, Obrion's here too, and he did this, like, kind of somewhat out of nowhere. There were at least some potential hints, but again, just not the strongest writing. I'm having a lot of fun, and like I said, that fight was very, very well written in the past couple of chapters, and I do like that, as kind of sloppy as all of this time loop stuff is, I think that this chapter did the best job of giving it some context and giving us some answers and trying to make it make some sense. It might not be fully consistent, but at least it's something, you know. I think that at least this chapter did a good job at congealing what we have been told so far together into something that at least makes a little bit of sense. My complaint isn't necessarily that it doesn't make any sense, but that it's not very good. My complaint is that it's a personal complaint. It's a subjective complaint. It's a complaint of, I don't think this makes me more interested in the story. I don't think this makes me more interested in the characters. I don't like the way that this is written. So that's how I'm feeling. But again, hopefully we wrap all that stuff up. Obrion's neat and all, but this fighting with Urek came out of nowhere again. I really think that at this point, we need a Urek spinoff to the Urek spinoff. I think I've seen that, or I think I've said that multiple times. We need to know stuff that happened outside of the tower with like Mago and Oberon and stuff before coming here, because at this point it's like I'm not super invested in Urek fighting Oberon because they're talking about their past and, oh, you got a beating last time, I wasn't in fighting shape last time, but we don't know anything about any of that, and it's not something that makes me go, oh, I'm excited to learn more about their past, because it's Tower of God. See, you could drop it at any moment and we'll never learn about their past. So I don't know. I'm not super invested right now, even though I like them. We'll have to see how things go. So either way, with that to be our end, I guess, like if you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of these chapters, my thoughts and reaction. Again, moving forward, these should probably be on Tuesdays. So yeah, like, comment, and subscribe for more Tower of God, Urek Mazino, much more on the channel. If you want to help support the channel by sharing around or becoming a member or patron, it's appreciated. And if you want to help support the channel, help me to keep making things, get your name at the end of videos and get One Piece bingo early, then you can hit join down below to become a member. Go to patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or link will be in the description to become a patron. Thank you so much to people who are already members and patrons. Thank you to chosen regulars Evan Hawley and Bertie Wooster, Magical Girls, DD-Man and Maru, Jerriton Student, David Langstaff, Slayer Candidates, SG and Stan Cedar, and Pure Elements, Pater Real, and Elsa the Storyteller. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, and I'll see you all next time.